How are you doing? I tell you, this is our tribe. Remember, I told you we're doing this every day. I am here recording every day, checking in with you every day. And I just wanted us to talk about something today that I know we've all dealt with. So if you've ever gone to bed early, slept through the night, and you still woke up feeling heavy and drained, this episode is for you. Because today we're talking about something many nurses we realize, but we don't often talk about. The fact that sleep alone is just not enough. Now, sleep does matter, it matters deeply. But if you're still exhausted after resting, it doesn't mean that you're failing at recovery. It just means that you're tired in ways that sleep just can't reach. Nurses, we're often told you just need more sleep. And even though sleep is essential, it's not the whole picture. Nurses don't just lose sleep, we lose emotional safety, a sense of control, time to process things, predictability. We know we don't work in a field where pretty much anything is predictable. Things can happen in a moment, and they can be brand new things you haven't experienced before either. So you can sleep and still feel depleted when your nervous system is dysregulated, when you have emotions that go unprocessed and you don't unpack them, when your identity, who you are, has been stretched thin, when you've just been kind of holding out, embracing for too long. Sleep itself helps the body to recover, but safety, feeling connected, having meaning, these are the things that help our nervous system to recover. There's a difference between physical fatigue and deep exhaustion. Physical fatigue says, my body needs rest. Deep exhaustion says, something inside me needs care. So, deep exhaustion, it often comes from having to be constantly vigilant, having to suppress your emotions, being needed all the time, having to take on responsibilities without ever really feeling like you can put them down. And this kind of exhaustion doesn't just go away with a nap. It really does require something different. So, here are some things that sleep can't replace, but there are things that we as nurses really need. One, emotional safety. It's a place where you don't have to be composed. You don't always have to be on. You don't always have to be performing at your highest level or bringing your A game. This is a place where you don't have to explain or minimize how hard your day was, how hard your shift was, a situation was. Number two, being witnessed. Someone who can really hear that, wow, that was really a lot. And someone who doesn't push you and always try to make something positive out of it and try to spin it, but just allows you to be, allows you to say what you need to say, to get it out, to vent if necessary. It's really important. And what we also really need, permission to feel. Nursing itself as a profession often requires emotional control. We can't always show what we're feeling. We can't always give in to our emotion. But if we continue to have unexpressed feelings, they don't disappear if they aren't addressed, they just accumulate. Something else that's really important that nurses need is meaning and integration. And what do I mean by that? Nurses need time and space to make sense of what you've experienced. You need time and space to let it land, to let it change you without breaking you. And that only happens when you give it time and space to do so. And remember, having these needs, they don't mean you're weak, they mean you're human. When you think about why stillness and being quiet and being with our thoughts can be so uncomfortable, nurses avoid that kind of stillness because it brings feelings to the surface. Things we haven't dealt with before comes bubbling right up. Nurses will also avoid this stillness because it removes distraction. You're forced to face what is there in front of you or what you've been putting to the side or even running from. Stillness can make you really realize how tired you really are. So instead of rest, what do? We stay busy. Instead of slowing down, we scroll, doom scrolling. And instead of processing things that need to be processed, we just push through. And it's not because we're avoiding healing, it's because we were never taught how to really rest emotionally. So there are gentle forms of rest that really go beyond sleep. And it's not about adding more things to our to do list, it's about really reframing and rethinking and expanding what rest means to us. So, what do you find restoration in? Some nurses find it in just spending time outside, doing something creative, being silent and in a silent space without there being any expectation attached to it, being able to talk through things slowly and not feel rushed. And understand, you don't need all of these. Just one moment of being able to release something emotionally can make all the difference. So understand, rest doesn't have to look productive in order for it to be healing for you. So I think it's important that we redefine what being rested really means. So being rested doesn't always mean that you're now energetic and motivated and happy. Sometimes being rested will be that you're less active, you're not doing as much. You can tolerate and handle more without snapping. You feel safer inside of yourself, trusting your feelings and your emotions. Those are the things that are really quiet wins. They aren't talked about often, but they mean so much. They're extremely significant. So, those quiet wins, guess what? They matter. So if sleep hasn't been enough for you lately, it does not mean there's something wrong with you. It simply means you need rest that meets you at a deeper level. So before you go, and remember, this always has been and always will be a judgment-free zone. These thoughts are for you to be able to sit with, think about, and see if and how it applies to you. So before you go, I'll leave you with this. What kind of rest are you craving right now? Not physically, but emotionally. If you feel comfortable, share it with us in the comments. What drains you most outside of being physically fatigued? Or what helps you feel emotionally restored? Understand that you deserve more than sleep. You deserve care that reaches every part of you. We spend so much time being the caregiver without realizing and remembering that we deserve care as well. So I'm really glad that you're here. And please take these things and think on them. See where it finds you. Unpack if you need to unpack what that looks like for you. But understand that we're here. We're here to support each other. We are nurses supporting nurses. So until next time, I will see you in the next episode. But stay well and be safe, my friends.